did this, I was in a very different mood.
Yeah. Jovial.
Oh, yeah. So it was like I had just gotten off of work, and I knew I had like 12 days off and, settle in for a good time.
And we did. We did just that.
It's the Thursday, the first week back to work, which I know some of you are saying, well, what are you doing Thursday and not Friday? Well, it's none of your fucking business. But the fact of the matter is, trying not to be too crass about it.
Dicks.
But it's, it just worked out better to do Thursday this time around. And for other reasons, too, is because it's been exactly 15 days since the last one we did. Our
longest stretch without dick all.
Yeah, we've done 14, but I don't think we've done 15. So there we go.
I was 800 miles away, and we were still banging that shit out.
In the year 2021, and all bad things have gone by the wayside, and nothing but good things from now on, if you can ignore a lot of shit so far.
No, I don't think I can. Had
a bunch of dicks try to take over our seat of government yesterday. And when you go, well, hold on now. Hold on. No. We've reached a weird point in our society, and I blame it on the two-party system. It's because you're either this or you're that. And if you're not one of those, you're considered to still be the enemy party. Because, if you're not in my party, then, well, yeah, I am. That party is called Americans. That's who we are. This nonsense of Republicans versus Democrats versus fucking whatever is annoying me to no end. I've been angry about it for a long time, going well back before 2016. Shit, you can probably all the way back to 2000 when the war criminal beat the Al Gore asshole.
Yeah.
But it's ramped up. I don't know. I'm pretty sure bullets will start flying pretty soon.
That was the first thought that crossed my mind. I was like, who the fuck would want to be Joe Biden now?
Joe Biden. Because that's the thing, because he still leads that particular party.
Man, if that's easy for a bunch of primarily middle-aged white dudes to storm that fucking building, just say one of them had like an explosive vest on. What the fuck? Were they patting them all down as they rushed in? Of course not.
Yeah,
it's fucking scary.
They found an IED inside the Capitol building.
Fucking there you go then. God damn.
And there was a chick that got shot. So then everybody's like, see, and she was an Air Force veteran. Yeah, breaching the nerve center of our legislative branch. Yeah, shoot her. I'd fucking shoot her. Come on. If that's what you're doing, that's an insurrection. And what do? You put down an insurrection. With fucking live fire exercises, sorry.
It fucking blows my mind that all these people are now taking on the roles of now we're like the military.
Well, and even worse. So then you get all these Trumpers, and that's what they are.
Oh, yeah.
Saying, well, no, these people, you can clearly see, these are not Republicans. These are Antifa. No. And then they break out a bunch of photoshopped bullshit. Like, oh, hold on, let me jump on. I'll Photoshop some shit showing basically your president's head jammed in his ass, and
If that's true, then Nicolas Cage was actually there trying to steal artwork. Because I saw that picture and made me laugh.
It's just fucking, it's ridiculous. And I ain't let the Democrats off the hook here either. Because the biggest thing is, what the fucking political right is saying is like, well, they just stood by while they were tearing shit down in Seattle and Portland. Two cities, by the way, that they don't fucking care about because it's like 90-10 Democrat to Republican. Right. They don't care. They don't care about that. But that's a what about? Well, so what about that? Because they're trying to justify why their side decided to basically almost pull off a revolution yesterday. And motherfuckers got shot, and they're like, and it was like, whoa, but that was them. That was the other people. See, because the other people did the same shit, a BLM rally, and like a whole bunch of looting and fires were set and shit. And they're like, no, that's a bunch of Trumpers. That wasn't our people. Oh, fuck you. Everybody thinks that their people are just good to go, and they're not going to create any unrest or any bullshit, any un-American fucking nonsense. But no, both of them have blood on their fucking hands.
I hope it's not a preamble to worse things.
It's been that way. The only
But
thing,
you're right, man.
the only thing that can quell this shit is a lot of motherfuckers getting shot. And that's, well, at least that's what history has shown. You know, so keep it up, motherfuckers, keep it up. Because those of us that actually put our life on the line and made a fucking solemn oath to this Constitution to support and defend it, everybody, in other words, everybody is in the military.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, man. I mean, and that's one of the greatest fucking points of view to have, is one from someone like you that has gone and fucking carried that shit out.
Sure.
And then you're fucking sitting in your house in your goddamn boxer shorts just trying to relax, enjoying like, well, you know, maybe this is the year shit turns around. And then you hear about that bullshit.
Sure. Oh, yeah. And these dickbags that were involved in it yesterday, running around calling themselves patriots. Fuck no, you're not. You're the opposite of that. You were trying to overthrow our legislative, and well, at the very minimum, fucking harry the process to where they can't officially certify the election to where their golden god won, right?
Voted on by a sitting president.
Yeah. No, that's the other thing, too. And this asshole's out there, you know.
I'm going to go with you guys.
Well, it's like, you know, trying to tell them to calm down, but yet also still maintaining the election was stolen, which is what's got all of them worked up in the first fucking place. Because they've all got, you know, IQ's topping out around 65, 70.
You're being fucking generous, I think.
Well,
maybe. They did have to have credit cards to buy airplane tickets to go there, so they have to know something.
Right.
Either that or their grandparents did it for them. I don't know.
But it's a problem. I don't see the way out of this.
You think that, I don't like comparing this to 9/11, but as far as the ripples this will cause.
The goals were about the same, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole thing.
Disruption of daily life.
Fucking domestic terrorism. So that's the thing. So a lot of friends of mine on Facebook are on the political right. A lot of friends of mine on Twitter on the political left. Both are cesspools of bullshit today. But so the ones on the fucking political right, like, yeah, that wasn't us. That was them. But if it was us, this is why we did. And it's like, well, fucking shut the fuck up. Because now you're trying to justify the unjustifiable in the process.
Like OJ writing the book, If I Did It.
Yeah, exactly. If that was us, this would have been, you know, get the hell out of here with that. You know, stop priding yourself on the party that you feel most aligns itself with your beliefs, or more appropriately, the party that you align your beliefs with. It's the other way around. It's ass backwards of what it should be. And start identifying as an American, goddammit, because it's going to be a lock and load situation before long. I have a fucking pretty good idea.
Yeah. God. Scary thought, man. Do you think any of this shit would have happened if the internet was a thing?
No.
Me neither.
No.
The fucking internet has allowed idiots to congregate and become dumber.
Well, now, see, the thing is, too, so all these Trump supporters that are all, and I go beyond that, because a lot of people they were probably supporters of his because they liked some of his policy or whatever. I don't know. But the ones who are the diehard assholes are just waiting around, waiting for him to tell them what to do. They are the problem. Is because that's what they're doing. They're sitting around measuring every word, every statement, every turn of phrase. And when he said the 6th of January will be a day that no one will forget, or some bullshit like that, I'm just paraphrasing.
Right.
That's what they viewed it as, like, oh, that's the day we start a revolution. Yeah, or get mowed down on the steps of the Capitol. Either way. And that was. And it was handled so piss poor. And a lot of people now, a lot of my friends on the political left, they're angry, saying, man, they didn't do that. The BLM protests were all nice and peaceful. They were like throwing, launching tear gas and shooting assholes with rubber bullets and blah, 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 blah. They didn't do that yesterday. No, not necessarily. But again, should they, if those were, I guess essentially if that was in the game plan, yeah, yesterday would have been the day to have done that. They should have brought more violence to those that were perpetrating this shit. The reason they didn't,
instead of fucking taking selfies with them.
Well, Secret Service on hand, so then you apparently just don't send out all the D.C. cops. They'd had the National Guard actually activated. They just weren't on scene. And I don't know why that I'm not. Then again, with the National Guard, because the National Guard's on the purview of the state, D.C. is not a state. Therefore, is it under the mayor or is it actually under Congress? I really have no idea on that one.
Well, now we're just getting into semantics.
Yeah. Okay. If you're raiding a fucking government facility, yeah, you're an asshole. You're a traitor to the country that you claim that you're trying to save.
I was waiting for you to use that word, traitor.
Sure.
Never, I mean, more now than ever before, that word, it's true.
Absolutely.
I mean, they tried to shut shit down.
They tried to inhibit the democratic process. We're a democracy, a representative democracy. I get it. And people say, oh, well, actually, we're a republic. And it's fine. We know what it is. We have elected officials that are at the House level, three representatives from New Mexico in the House, 2 in the Senate. And the process it's a peaceful one. We're one of the few countries on planet Earth that used to be. We'd be able to say, yep, every 4 years we have an election. Hey, and if a different guy wins it, cool. And it's a peaceful transfer of power. That's not what happened yesterday.
Fucking happened 20 years ago, and that was a contest that should have been legitimately talked about.
Oh, when Bush won in the courts,
Yeah.
the war criminal Bush, yeah.
I mean, that's something, but they handled it. You know what I mean? Maybe
Well,
it
the
might not
Supreme
have been
Court
the right outcome, but
the Supreme Court did. And I think that the fat little orange-headed man in Washington thought that the courts were going to come to his rescue just like they did the war criminal 20 years ago.
sad thing is everybody can watch on their phones now, so people got to tread a little lightly these days.
And if
Unless you're DJT.
And if you are clued into Twitter and you're just sitting around waiting for whatever your fearless leader has to say or direct you to do or whatever, yeah, you could run it. You could run a revolution over fucking Twitter, I think, because they took their sweet ass time before they shut him down yesterday.
Right.
They let him make a statement to all of his followers and all this other shit and everything. And then all social media platforms then kind of just suspended him for a couple
Twitter
of days.
started, because that was the thing, I bet. One's like, fuck, who's going to do this first? Somebody has to do something.
Facebook, and then, the dickbag Mark Zuckerberg, who fucking frankly can eat a bag of dicks, he basically said, finally, after all the other platforms have basically suspended him, then he comes out with this great big old long rambling statement, which, fuck you if you think I'm going to read the whole thing. But basically saying that he was circumventing Facebook's, terms of terms of service or whatever,
Terms
TOS,
of use or something like that.
terms of service, TOS, violating those and all this other stuff, and utilizing the platform for nefarious things that Facebook wasn't really designed for, and blah 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 blah.
My ass.
And then basically he said, yeah, we're suspending his account, and if he doesn't change a few things, then we'll go ahead. Then we are going to deactivate his account. Yeah, but you know what? He's almost out of the White House. So what fucking good is it now? And when has he ever been terribly active on Facebook, unless Facebook was a reposting for his fucking Twitter account?
I think that might be what it is.
Could be. It probably is. Probably. Oh well. I don't know, man. So fucking it really brings me down, because the fact is that we shouldn't be basing our very best interests and hopes in our society on the either-or system. And that's the two-party system.
Yeah.
I think if you're trying to find positive outcomes, one of the positives might be, and who knows, but it could very well be that third parties get another look. I think they're going to get another look. They're going to have to. This might be the death of the Republican Party, maybe.
Bottom line is, it was a Republican president that fucking incited a riot.
Yeah. Yep.
In the state, in the capital of everything we hold dear.
Exactly.
It's
so I mean, that's
crazy.
So that's the whole thing. It's like, so then how do you even rectify it? Come to this. How do you reach the point to where you can go, yeah, this is all okay? Because it's fucking not okay.
No. If you try to fucking make it sound like this was a righteous cause, you're a fucking asshole.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I could go on for a full hour about this shit. I'd rather not, because it kind of bums me out. It bums me out to see fellow fucking citizens missing the point, for those on the left that are trying to do a lot of whataboutism. Like, but our stuff, well, fuck you. First of all, maybe stop calling protests your stuff. Yeah. Were there a lot of African Americans getting killed by cops in this country and have been for a very long time? Hell yes. Fix that shit. And if it takes a protest to do it, cool. But stop letting all your rich white friends hang around with you because they're the ones apparently love to burn a lot of shit down.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of poor people
No?
there doing shit. Everybody had a cell phone. It looked like a pretty good one, too.
And the riots back in the summer, I didn't see any people of color tearing up shit, destroying property, all this stuff. It was all white people. So fuck off with all of that, you know.
This whole thing is made where, like, I'm done with a band. And a member of the band's side project shit, which I actually really enjoyed.
Okay.
I'm fucking watching because this was, shit. Probably.
Is this System of the Down?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, that'd have been hilarious.
That one made sense.
That'd have been funny.
That one kind of would have almost made sense to me, but yeah.
So I'm watching coverage of this shit because, I mean, why not? I saw 9/11 on the news. This is right up there with that.
Right.
And they show the montage of the photos, like the guy on Gerald Ford's statue going, "Brr," the guy sitting in Pelosi's office, and then they show this guy, two guys, but one guy is wearing a hat and a beanie, and has like a long white beard. He's going, "Bro," pointing his hand angrily, "Brr." And I was just watching casual. I'm like, shit, that looks like John Schaefer from Iced Earth. Well, that's weird. Day went on. Night comes to a close. I'm like, well, I got to be at work. I got to stop watching this shit and go to bed. Do a quick roundup of like metal news, see if maybe there's some rocker reactions. I like to read what they have to say about it. Well, turns out I wasn't wrong about my initial thought of that being fucking old Johnny Boy, the guitar player for Iced Earth, and the side project Demons and Wizards that has a lead singer from Blind Guardian in it.
Okay.
Which is actually that's the shit I like. Iced Earth is okay. Yeah, but now this guy is wanted by federal folk.
Wow.
For a person of interest in unrest-related offenses.
Here's the funny thing: is because all those assholes that broke into the Capitol building are all going to be facing some enhanced punishment out of this. Well, some enhanced legal action, thanks to their own boy, old Donnie Trump, had basically out of all the riots over the summer that he was angry about. So they ended up passing basically some enhanced law enforcement guidelines and prosecutorial guidelines, sentencing guidelines, actually.
Yeah.
On people that destroy federal property, monuments, and other shit.
Oh, right.
So the hilarious thing is going to be, all these dickbags could have got off on about a 2-year sentence, but thanks to Donald Trump and all the protests of the BLM stuff over the summer, they're now all looking at 10 years minimum.
So what you're telling me is there's a good chance I'm not going to hear any more Iced Earth albums.
I wouldn't count on it. I wouldn't bank on it.
Oh, God, man. What a weird time to be alive.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, but that one makes me laugh because it almost feels karmic in nature.
Yeah.
Like, so the guy,
absolutely.
so the bastard you love got this stuff passed through because he doesn't like fucking people of color, and then now you're going to suffer for it.
You know, he probably passed that bill thinking like, oh man, that's clearly this is just going to affect black people.
Blacks and Mexicans, you better look out. You're on, putting you on watch. And
oops.
Yeah, that's a big whoopsie.
And, you know, everybody made it easier by filming the whole thing on their goddamn phones,
of course,
posted on social media.
Because we don't know any better than to pat ourselves on the back for all of our deeds and misdeeds.
My fingers are crossed. If they made an example of Lori Loughlin for fucking giving a little payola to grease the gears, they better make some examples out of some motherfuckers.
There's no way around it. They have to. The federal law requires a minimum sentencing of 10 years. So now I know what the deal is going to be now, because now they have to try to plea it into something that is not the destruction of federal monuments and property, which good fucking luck, but fine. But if they can find a federal prosecutor that's dumb enough to allow them to plea it to something else, then that's the only way that they really avoid it. But guess what? There's going to be there's a new administration coming in that will be prosecuting this shit against them and wanting to make and going out of their way to make sure that they are
right,
absolutely the poster boy of what the fuck happens when you try to have a fucking revolution at the Capitol building.
A poorly planned one of that. I mean, It didn't work.
It looked like some shit my neighbors had put together. Fuck you.
It was a photo op, man.
Yeah.
It was for Facebook likes.
It's all.
That's what it's always about.
Yeah, you think the asshole sitting at Pelosi's desk? Oh, don't take my photo yet. Hold on, and had to throw his
left her a note calling her a bitch.
Had to throw his crossed legs up on the desk with his hands behind his head, like, "Hey, I'm just taking it easy right here in the Speaker of the House's office," which it turned out, dummy, wasn't even her office; it's her assistant's office, which is hilarious. Right. Yeah, and it's just, come on, assholes. Because if you pull shit like that, you're not a patriot. You're a fucking traitor.
You're a cunt.
Yeah,
in every form, in every meaning of the word, except the good ones.
Hey, so how are y'all doing this week? It's the Mead, Metal, and MMA podcast where we get together and talk about the fun things, and sometimes things that maybe aren't so fun to talk about, but goddamn it, they're necessary.
Oh, God, I can't stop reading about this shit because, like, now I'm starting to dig, and I'm finding funny shit.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Nope.
So, the apparently Dead Kennedys, punk band.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Extraordinaires. Tweeted yesterday praising Senator Lindsey Graham, which that dude had a pretty good speech. I'd heard it after they'd reconvened.
Yeah, he's been in Congress too goddamn long.
And then another one, thank you, Senator Romney and Evan McMullen. Mitt cares about the USA.
Okay.
And I guess one of the former members of Dead Kennedys was like, the fuck are you assholes doing?
Right.
You're ruining everything we built.
Yeah. No, you can't praise Republicans if you're in a punk band.
So that's not the funny part. I was scrolling down and I just see leave it to Eve 6 to put everything in perspective. I'm like, oh shit. The heart in a blender guy. So he retweets it. Says, what the fuck? How are we more punk than you?
Yeah. No, that's a fucking valid question. Dead Kennedys throughout the entire 1980s spent fucking every chance they had talking about what an asshole that Ronald Reagan is, and was. And not wrong, by the way. But, yeah, so for them to come out, like, thanking or praising Republicans, that's a little fucked up.
It says, I guess Kill the Poor wasn't satirical.
Wow.
Gotta admit, I mean, I don't know if Eve 6 is banned anymore, but that dude's Twitter game is strong these days. Right up there with the Iron Sheik, if you ask me.
Yeah. Wonder if he's out there working right alongside, the Wendy's Twitter account and, just roasting people left and right.
Oh, anyway.
Yeah, it's a wacky world, man. But anyway, so how's your week?
Outside of the madness affecting us all, shit, my year's got off to a fairly decent start.
I like the way people are already like, all right, well, 2021, you fucked up. Now we're waiting for 2022. It's like, really? So, stand by, because I think there are some really wacky times ahead. If you thought yesterday was weird, just stand by.
So guess what, bitches? There are no do-overs.
Nah.
We got what we got. Of course, I do like the whole thing, like 7-day exchange. It's on day 6. Let's take this thing back and get a new one.
Right.
But that's just not how it's going to be. We suffered through last year. We're going to have to fucking suffer through this one, too.
I think 2021 is going to be a lot better, though, because, first of all, vaccine rollout is there. There's a third vaccine that they're going to be trying to get at the emergency declaration of, like, basically allowing them to go ahead and start putting it out there, and that's from Johnson & Johnson.
The baby oil people.
The big difference on theirs is 1 injection, not the 2. And on top of that, it's a very, very different process altogether. It doesn't use messenger RNA. It's a different spectrum that it follows. Therefore, the efficacy of it is supposed to be substantially higher than that of Pfizer or Moderna.
Well, damn, those were like 95, right?
Yeah.
I'm all right with that.
Yeah. Of course, then naturally, then your people that are scared to get a shot, the same one's scared to wear a mask, same one's scared to... They're just living scared.
Fear makes people do stupid
well,
shit.
You'll have Bell's palsy, and then you'll have that forever. Which, first of all, apparently Bell's palsy, out of the big, massive research pool they did, I think it was on the Pfizer vaccine, they found that actually there was like no increased or reduced chances of Bell's palsy than in the normal general population.
Yeah, but see, those facts don't matter to me because I already feel this way, and I'm not about to change how I feel by saying I'm wrong.
Yeah.
That wasn't really me saying that.
Yeah, exactly. That is kind of the whole thing is that they're like, yeah, Bell's palsy. Now, number 2, Bell's palsy, you're not going to deal with that for the rest of your life. It kind of settles in, and depending on who you are and how quickly that your immune system fights it off, you could be looking for anywhere from 3 weeks to maybe 2 months.
Damn.
So, where you have kind of looks like you've had a stroke. Okay. Not great, but tell you what, if it gets the world back to fucking normal, I'd take that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want Jim Ross's Bell's palsy because that shit's stuck.
His was more stroke related, I thought.
No, he had Bell's palsy.
Well, it should have went away because fucking Bell's palsy does not stick.
But you're absolutely right. He still suffers with it to this day. Yet he still commentates wrestling, but it's like the whole left side of his face is fucking all but dead. So it might also be a stroke on top of the palsy.
Yeah, if it's not going away, because the palsy by its very nature is something that is temporary and passing. But yeah, that's the whole thing. It's that
much like my love life.
Now, on top of that, so how many of the people in the test pool are getting it? Fucking virtually nobody. But just like it is in normal society, and virtually nobody gets it. And a friend of mine, I don't want to give her a name, but she lives in Albuquerque. She had Bell's palsy a year ago right now. No vaccine, no nothing, just something that kind of
just bad luck.
Just happened. Just
bad genetic die roll.
Well, just, out in public and caught the wrong shit, because Bell's palsy is essentially transmitted through a virus of sorts.
Oh, so, no shit.
Yeah.
I know very little. All I know about Bell's palsy is JR had it.
Yeah. But that's the whole thing, and that's why it comes down to the immune response. That's another one. Viruses get in without an immune response, and that's what the problem is we have with this whole fucking COVID thing right now, is because the body doesn't recognize it as something that we need to get rid of. So the immune response isn't there. The body does start to begin actually creating specific antibodies for it, and that's how the tests work. Because then the tests, they'll go, oh, there it is. There are the antibodies that have recognized that this might be a threat once it's already established. And that's why that incubation time is like 2 weeks from exposure until you'll test positive.
Wow. Damn. Did you ever think you know so much about a fucking virus?
No, but it's only because I hang around a bunch of nerds that do. So
true. Very true.
We've had them on the show before, so
yeah.
Go ahead.
Made us sound really good.
Shit. Mead update. Here's some good news: is that we're going to get really, really busy on Saturday. By that I mean we're going to be bottling we're going to be bottling Troublemaker. Now this has been down there for a year, and we're going to be moving Green Man over to the barrel without moving to secondary. Seems a little chancy. Sort of. But if that batch looks really, really clear, which it should, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, we should know as soon as we take top off.
Well, yeah, and I think Saturday I'm going to go ahead and get that fermenter up and get it leaning to the best extent possible so it can settle for several hours before you get over here, and then we move that. We'll have to move everything around it rather than the barrel because that's how you get all those lees into that,
right?
Before the racking. But so we're going to have Green Man in the barrel. I think we'd address this on the show, but in case we didn't. So you're asking yourself, wait a minute. I thought you were putting just straight batch one, just vanilla mead into that barrel, and it magically comes out long ships. Yeah, you're right. Well, guess what we're getting? We're going to get Green Man / long ships kind of out of this 4.5 gallon barrel. How's that work for future batches going forward? The one after this is going to have a slight tang to it, perhaps. The one after that, we're right back to long ships.
Yeah.
It'll take about one batch beyond this worked through in order for it to come out right, which I'm all right with. Long ships meets Green Man, I'm good.
We might have made it Troublemaker if we didn't already have cobalt blue bottles.
Oh, I absolutely would have. That would have been the knock your socks off batch, but yeah, we already have the bottle, so I ain't fucking around with that. So
right. That way I can take 2 or 3 to my house and drink them all alone.
Yeah.
Got to make sure they're good.
Keep doing that, and we don't even have to worry about labels.
There you go.
Well, the label thing has been a little bit tough, hasn't it, because of the pandemic? So.
Dude, outside of just special ordinance shits, what are you supposed to do?
I've thought about going to Lubbock and spend a day over there taking care of business I can't get done in New Mexico. Because our pandemic lockdown shit is worse than anybody's in the entire country.
And it's working really well.
Our infection rate is about 0.8% higher than Texas.
God damn.
So clearly, they're like, wait a minute, how's that higher? You guys can't go and do anything. You can't eat at a restaurant. You can't go to a bar. You can't do this, can't do that. There's all this shit you can't do. Our state parks are all shut down. Fucking, you can't have any high school sports. You can't have any of this. But yet,
how are you doing this?
Yet our infection rate is higher than Texas, where they're basically like, virus? What virus?
Who said something about a virus?
So clearly, our mandate doesn't work in this state. At least not to its intended purpose. It is accomplishing some other shit that we don't want, but it's collapsing a lot of small business. It's students are out there. They had that kid, I don't know if you heard about him down in Hobbs that killed himself last week because he just wasn't adapting,
Wow, no.
And there are, our suicide rate's real high.
I was
real high.
Talking to a coworker the other day, and I was like, the one number I really don't want to see is that number.
Yeah.
The number of people that have killed themselves in the last year.
Well, and we'd had, they'd had that thing, for veterans, veteran suicide. I think it was like 22 a day. It was like, people would do 22 push-ups a day to reflect the 22 veterans a day that are taking their own lives.
Yeah. God.
It is, that number has tripled since this pandemic, at least by the numbers that I've seen. And these numbers aren't official. The VA had put out a study where they had estimated that, we're looking at probably in the proximity of about 70 veteran suicides a day.
God damn.
Because
how is that okay?
What is the absolute worst thing that you can do with a person that has PTSD? Oh, lock them up and tell them they can't hang out with people. Because the only way they can work through a lot of shit in their own minds is to be able to communicate with others. Right. Either people that have some insight, people that are going through the same thing, even people that even if the experiences are barely even tangential, but yet still could be a shared experience.
Right.
No. When you tell, anybody that's done any kind of, time in the service that had any kind of real issues, mental or otherwise, the worst thing you can do is tell them to, just stay at home, be safe, wear your mask and masturbate, but don't go out in public,
That's it's true, man. I mean, when you take away the coping mechanisms for people,
sure,
you take all of them away. That's why when I heard shit's like, fuck that. If you're cool with me coming out here, I'm coming out here.
Yep.
And so far so good.
No, I'm not even fucking trying to, feed into hyperbole. I wouldn't be around. If it was just me having to fucking hang out in this goddamn house every day, 7 days a week, by myself. No, I don't think I'd have made it either.
Gosh, I don't know what I would have done.
No, I mean, but that's the reality. The reality is that, the VA, for all that they were bragging on themselves, talking about how that they have been that they have been useful, VA healthcare of getting veterans, less dependent on alcohol, on drugs, on everything else, and all this other shit. Yeah, well, now not only just seeing the suicide rate triple, but they're also seeing basically a lot of people backsliding that they thought were okay, and they're not. They're not okay. And I mean, hey, man, I get it. I can see where booze would be. I don't because frankly, fucking, I can't get hammered down day after day. I can't. I tried.
Oh no,
I can't do it. But
no, you put in the effort.
Yeah, but I get it. And veterans and people that have experienced some bad shit in life, and now they're having to fight their own demons by themselves, have all my sympathy in the world.
It wasn't hard before, man. It's even more difficult now. I mean, video chats are fine.
They are not a replacement.
No.
Fuck yeah! If you're a business owner, or a corporation or whatever, and you're wanting to conduct business that way, having your people just get on Zoom, it's fine. Okay, cool. You can run a business that way. You can't fucking run humans that way.
No, you fucking can't. There's too much emotion involved.
Sure. Ready to get into the metal segment for the week?
Already dealt with John Schaefer's shit.
Do we have an LJ segment this week?
We do indeed.
Hey, all right. Well, how's abouts? That wasn't flatulence. That's my chair moving back over excitement. Or maybe it was. Maybe it was. You never know. Maybe I like LJ's segment that much.
It makes my cornhole loose.
Gives me loose stool.
Hope everybody's stuck through it till this point. Hit it, LJ.
Welcome back to the Mead, Metal, and MMA podcast. This is LJ, your happier than usual host, and I am here to deliver your daily dose of metal. Are you excited? I'm excited. It's 2021, and we got some, well, there's not a whole lot on here. But first things first, let me get this out of the way, because I've been dying to tell you guys about it since December 10th. Dreamcatcher, that's right, that album that was a sequel to Rock Hard, is finally finished, and it's free on YouTube. But the YouTube quality sucks. Seriously, like, it's overblown in places, it cracks, it blows, but the entire album is on there, and I just love it. So if you guys want a CD, which, trust me, plays a lot clearer and a lot crisper and much higher fidelity, hit me up on Facebook, look for KBX Band on there, and go to the page, message me, we can trade on Cash App or PayPal, and I can mail the CD to you, or if you live locally in the area of Clovis, I can deliver it to you, or you can pick it up however you want to do it. But enough of that, let's get on with some metal. Come on! Now, there's not a whole lot that's going on this year, particularly this week. So we've got Alta Reign, Altareign. The album is called Mother's Day. Might want to check that one out. It's pretty heavy. And we've got Frozen Soul with their album Crypt of Ice. I think you know exactly what that sounds like. If you want heavy, that's it. Next up is Hearts and Hand Grenades. The album is called Turning to Ashes. Yeah, it was not bad. The next band on the list is called Magnum. Hell of a name, right? Awesome. The album is called Dance of the Black Tattoo. For a band called Magnum, you'd be surprised how well they keep to that name. It's fucking awesome. And finally, we've got the Michael Schenkner group, Immortal. You know, they could have picked any other album name besides Immortal, which is probably one of the other more used album names out there, but I'll give them a pass because it wasn't bad. All right, so, sorry it seems a little rushed, but yeah, there just wasn't a whole lot to talk about this week other than, you know, the Mead, Metal, and MMA podcast returning for 2021, and also KBX's new album, Dreamcatcher. So, get out there, check out some records, and we will see you guys next time on the podcast. I am LJ, and yeah, this is period. Laters.
Yeah, so they got the... Oh, did you just call me a burnout?
I call everybody a burnout that knows me.
Oh, that you were talking about that. I was like, hey, motherfucker, I might take issue. LJ always astute as well. I'm glad that guy got his stuff back and running because the computer issue that he had and everything
We can
else.
appreciate laptops fucking up jobs we're trying to do.
I mean, knock on wood, this one has been holding up.
Yeah, I think it's because we know it's fucking quirks.
Well, and we only really use it for this, and when we haven't really used it to record music in a very long time, but that's it. That's about it. It's not a browser. It's not a fucking go have yourself a good time. No.
And to legally watch fights.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, every once in a while.
Those out of Portugal. Yeah. Speaking of which, you hear Dana White's going to be cracking down, apparently, on illegal streams for the Conor McGregor fight.
I read that, and I was like, that's cool, man. You're one of many that have said that. Good luck. So he's wanting to... he thinks... I bet you he thinks he can actually crack down actual people, which is nigh on impossible.
Sure.
The way it works now, you can fucking hit the website, but you can't hit the people using the website. And even sometimes then you can't hit the website itself because it's like, hey, motherfucker, we're just streaming this. We are hosting this video. If you want it taken down or you're pissed, go to the fucking source.
He might send out his boy, well, his boy and Trump's boy, Brendan Schaub.
Oh.
Because he's the one that got a couple of them shut down, right? When he's like, hey, anybody got a stream? And then people start sending them links, and then fucking every one of them that was sent to him got shut down. Remember that shit? That was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, because he's a cunt.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It's okay if you're just a cunt by nature. You know, that's you. That's who you are.
Yeah.
But if you go out of your way to be a cunt, then that's wrong. That's just against fucking human law.
And I've never kept up with it at all. What happened to that? What was that podcast he's on? The fighter and the rapist or whatever? The
rapist and the kid?
Something. Brian Callen. What happened with all that shit? Brian Callen.
They both got popped for stuff, man.
Chris D'Elia got in trouble for some shit for shady stuff.
How weird that it's a lot of these fucking comedians, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, and then you got comedians trying to defend him. but only in a really shady kind of a sense. Bill Burr calling out other comedians like, hey, don't you go calling out people in our industry. In other words, he was talking about, I think, Whitney Cummings, because she was the one talking about what a creep that Chris D'Elia was, I think.
I don't even know that guy, and I could tell you that.
Look at him.
Yeah, just fucking look at him,
Pull
man.
up, Google a photo of him, and you'll go, oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah, even there was an episode of Workaholics that he was in. This is before he was even remotely famous. And he was playing a pederast.
Well, sometimes karma swings a big stick.
It does. That stick's getting fucking a little scarily huge.
Well, then you got, so Joe Rogan moved to Texas. You can say what you want to say. It's because Texas has no state income tax, and that dude's getting a $100 million check from Spotify.
Cheddar, cheddar.
That's the
ding, ding.
I mean, say what you want, and he can say it's like, well, because I've always wanted to move. Yeah, sure you do. You always wanted to move to Colorado, but their state income tax is similarly high to California. It's not as bad, but yeah, go to a state that has no state income tax. If that dude didn't go to Florida or to Texas, he'd have went to Florida because they also have no state income tax. So he bails out of Southern California. So does Ron White, a bunch of other comedians, all moved to Texas. The pederasts and the weirdos and rapists and the people that support them stayed in Los Angeles. So.
Do you think this influx is going to change the political landscape of Texas?
Yeah, kind of.
Because, I mean, this is state capital we're talking about.
They're all moving to Austin, though.
And as we've learned, you got to control more than just one major hub to control that state.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, and that was the other laughable thing. Because if you remember back prior to the election, like, yeah, we're going to turn Texas blue. Well, good fucking luck.
I mean, for a second there, it was like, oh, but then it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. But I think it does. The problem is a lot of people that live in California for a very long time export California's bullshit wherever they go.
That better have the hazardous materials shit on it.
I'd lived in Silver City down in the southwest corner of this shitty state way back when, and a lot of people were moving out of California then. There's usually a big exodus, and you can kind of usually track it for years, and that's why California, like shit, last year and I think this year probably, you'll see that they'll have a negative population because the fact is that they've lost more people immigrating out than people immigrating in. But back then, Silver City, which is a little bit, they lean a little on a liberal, I suppose. But yeah, they get a lot of people from California moving there, bitching about how they did things in California, the school boards and everything else, and immediately get to Silver City, look around and go, oh, I fucking hate the way they do things here, and they run for the school board, perpetuating what they just moved away from to get away from it.
Wow. Because as long as you're the one perpetuating it.
That's right.
It's okay.
Like, oh, it's okay because I'm doing it. But, yeah, that's...
You know, I'm actually really worried about Colby Covington.
In what sense?
Do you know this man hasn't put up a tweet since December 10th of last year?
That's probably a good thing, right? His shtick is done. I mean, that was the whole thing that, that was one of the other things that was people were made aware of. And that is the Colby Covington, the whole Trump thing, all this other shit. It was all a big, big thing to get people. Well, it's just like you do in wrestling. Who wants to be a heel? Everybody wants to be a good guy,
and
right?
If you suck Donald Trump's cock, he's going to invite you to the White House for a photo op.
Right.
And Colby had the fucking play, and he had the MMA skills to fucking make people listen to him.
Sure.
It's weird. And then, of course, when I look at it, it's like, oh, a fucking police officer is among 5 dead after the mob shit. So a police officer died. Yeah.
Oh, yesterday in the Capitol, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, shit, man. Can't look at anything and get a little chortle.
Right. What about metal? Anything going on this week? Well, shit, we've been talking about all this. Actually, the front man for the Children of Bodom.
Too soon, man.
Ruben's
going to come out here and want to yell at you, bro.
Oh, bullshit. I didn't even know that guy was a fan of Children of Bodom until I saw him post something on Facebook the other day. So I'm not saying he's not a fan. I'm just saying he wasn't a huge fan because I never one time. Children of Bodom has never been played in this house unless it was by some weird accident by an auto play off of YouTube.
I think I might have played If You Want Peace, Prepare for War one time because it was on Guitar Hero.
Okay.
But God, that was fucking years ago.
Sure. Yeah.
You play a song by a band once here, that's not considered regular play.
No.
That's considered like as much as Volbeat or fucking
Yeah.
any other band like Five Finger Death Punch been played here.
Winter Sun gets played a lot more than that.
That's true.
And we fucking hate those guys.
They at least get 2 or 3 spins a year,
Right?
but it's every fucking year.
And it's usually the same tunes, too. So,
Let's see. what does Loudwire have to say on this shit?
on which shit? Oh,
On fucking anything.
which, by the way, and Children of Bodom had broke up actually in 2018. They kind of got some things going again. It was Bodom after midnight?
They didn't break up in 20. They actually broke up fairly recently because they announced the breakup, but then still had shows announced to finish up.
Okay.
So it was like kind of turning the last 3 or 4 gigs of that tour into a farewell tour, and then Boredom After Midnight happened. And I guess we'll never know what they were going to rock because, well, shit, the whole reason to do it's not there anymore.
Right.
I'm kind of looking forward to a Mudvayne reunion.
Whoa. Is
But
that something that's kind of in the works?
It's rumored because with Vinnie Paul passing away,
Yeah.
Hell Yeah doesn't seem like a viable band to me anymore.
No.
Apparently, the lead singer, who is the lead singer of Mudvayne, was like, no, we're going to do more shit. It's like, there really isn't any point, Holmes. You had one band member already say the soul of this band is now dead.
What about God, well, I realize there's a lot of legal shit pending there too, so they can't really move much forward at the moment. But Soundgarden.
Apparently, that his widow, who I'm not really a big fan of.
Cornell's widow. Yeah. Right.
I mean, I get a real Yoko Ono vibe from her.
To a degree. Well, yeah.
Now she's just trying to push his kid.
Right.
Who did a song at the fucking Alice in Chains benefit. And that's one of the few I didn't show you.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. From what I understand, she was kind of got wrecked in the online shit the next day after that.
Well, wasn't that great?
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta, tribute aside, if that type of shit passes as an Alice in Chains tribute, get us on there to do Nutshell. We'll fucking knock it out of the park.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think they have it settled because the wife said that Soundgarden shit will be coming out.
Okay.
But the fact it came from the wife and not any of the 3 band members gives me pause.
As it should, right? Got anything else? Well, actually, I guess the whole thing is we can run kind of rampant with metal this week because there is nothing in MMA news unless you've got any insight into that, other than the fact that we are going to see, I guess, McGregor Poirier 2 coming up on the 23rd.
Yeah, but shit, it still feels like it's a month away, and it's next weekend.
Yeah, well, and there's couple
the
weekends.
The Holloway card.
That one's a week from Saturday, right?
Next weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, UFC kind of took a couple of weeks off the end of December, which they needed to do, and taking a week off here, at least the first weekend, full weekend in January. I'm all right with that. They don't need to have an event every weekend to prove that they're kicking COVID's ass.
They broke their own record for consecutive events held every weekend at 22.
Yeah.
They had 22 fight cards in a row. You know what the record before that was? 14.
Yeah.
And even that seems like a lot.
22 in a row, and I might have cared about half that number.
Yeah. You put me on the spot, and I probably couldn't remember more than half of those cards.
I mean, every card would have a fight that I actually might have cared about. I think there was actually one exception to that too, because I think the one I'd cared about got scratched and it became a card of just nonsense. But
yeah, the pay-per-view to close out the year was pretty good.
It was okay. Yeah,
the pay-per-view to start the year was pretty good too.
Yeah. It's just, and I get it, when you're at Fight Island, you have to put on an event every weekend, which, by the way, so we don't have an event this Saturday. We'll have an event the next Saturday, and then the Wednesday after that. And then...
Yeah, and that's going to be... I don't know when that's going to be kicking off, but I guarantee it's not going to be at 6 o'clock.
And then that'll be... Then the Saturday after that's the McGregor card. So... it's fine, and I get it. When you have, Yas Island over there, you have to pay for that facility and for all your people to be there and everything else. You don't want to skip a fucking weekend. You got to put it all together and put it on the line. The problem I had was they were doing the same shit at the Apex Center and acting like the only way they're going to save the company is to keep having an event every weekend.
Yeah, and now apparently there will be limited crowd.
Yeah,
on Fight Island.
Well, which I know what that means. That's, over in the Emirates. That means you're going to have a whole bunch of wealthy sheiks over there that are hanging out. Probably you'll probably see a lot of women and a lot of effeminate men. So
God, man, McGregor's going to be shaking a lot of billionaires' hands, I bet. Ooh, what a spot, man. Do you think it puts more pressure on them to perform in front of a bunch of rich people?
No. It's a fight game, man.
Yeah.
You fight. It doesn't matter who's watching or whatever.
I'd hope so. Like, venue be damned, you're doing what you're doing.
Average assholes like me and you? Yeah, probably.
Oh, my God. Darren Sheik here? Oh, shit. God, dude, have you seen Courtney Love lately?
No. She looked fucking horrible 20 years ago. I don't know what I want to see her now.
Did you see the MASH, was it the MASH movie? The actress that played Hot Lips Houlihan in that?
Right.
Can't remember her name.
That wasn't Loretta Swit?
No. But anyway, it looks fucking like her. She looks horrible. She looks like she's had way too much fucking plastic surgery and a stroke.
Huh. Well, that's kind of what she looked like the last I could recall, too, so I don't know. Or Sally Kellerman. She was the same.
Sally Kellerman.
She's the same one, though, right? No. Loretta Swit was the one in the TV series, right? Sally Kellerman was in Old School, that movie with Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah.
She was his love interest in that flick.
God, she was back then, though. Sally Kellerman was very, very attractive.
Yeah.
Of course, see her now, and she looks like an old lady.
Yeah, like Vince Neil, right?
Well, she's thinner than Vince Neil.
Well, now, yeah. Like Vince Neil back in the late 80s, maybe, but yeah.
So we're in 2021 now. And let's see. Okay, yeah. I see where we're at. You always have a musical prediction.
Oh, yeah. Fucking nothing's really grabbing me by the short and curlies this year like they have in years past. I think we're probably going to get, as far as live music opportunities, I'm still holding out hope that we get to see the Deftones in September. But I think we'll probably maybe actually get a real possibility of being able to catch Mastodon in Texas this year.
Within the bubble? Within the 8-hour travel bubble?
Yep.
Shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a feeling we'd be able to catch Mastodon probably either in the Massive Plex or whatever the fuck they call that DFW area. Either there or perhaps Austin, but somewhere in there, I bet.
I bet there was, if fucking Lubbock would get its shit together, bands like Mastodon would play Lubbock.
Yeah.
They would.
Yeah.
They used to.
If I was Mastodon, I wouldn't play Lubbock, but that's just me.
Ah, man. We need to do a whole podcast of that, and I'm going to post it on Wes Nessman's Facebook page.
Is that the
about
dude?
How it's his fault that fucking live music sucks.
Is that the dude from FMX over in Lubbock?
Yeah, that bald guy thinks he's some kind of gay pirate.
Well, he is, right? Let the man be what he wants to be.
Well,
he's a kind of pirate.
I'd rather not tell him he's wrong. You're right. I just don't like that guy, man. I don't even know the man. I don't like him.
Yeah.
Because I know what he did. I know what he did. I know it's like, it's not that DJs pick these bands. I know that. I know that. Bands pick these cities.
Right.
I think FMX does a shitty job of fucking promoting them.
I think they do as well. And Lubbock, I think, is a corporate town for as far as radio goes, with the exception of like 2 ownership groups, I think.
God, that's even worse.
Yeah,
Everybody under the same umbrella.
Citadel and Clear Channel, or iHeart, whatever you call them now. But yeah.
Well, I'm just waiting for that guy to go retire with his gay lover, and then I'll get a stronger FM radio so I can pick it up. Maybe I won't hear Five Finger Death Punch or Volbeat every day in my life.
Right.
That's why Lubbock, the COVID rate's up all the time. Nothing but shitty music from 94.5 FMX.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm done bragging
their venues suck ass. I mean, come on.
I have a soft spot in my heart for the amphitheater.
The amphitheater's okay.
And the pavilion it's attached to.
But that I mean, you got to have a big enough act come through that's going to merit them opening that up.
They used to all the time. It's
Sure.
like every weekend in the summertime, there was a band either playing at the amphitheater or in the pavilion.
Until insurance started going up in a big fucking way.
Yeah. And then bands are like, wait, let's just go to Austin, you
Well,
guys.
or they start trying to play Jake's, and that's terrible because then you pack a bunch of Lubbock shithead metalheads in there.
Yeah, and I don't want to go to a fucking show where people are more focused on getting a burger.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Shit, I don't know. As far as releases go for this year, there's not really anything blowing my skirt up on this one. I'll have to give that some thought for the next one.
Yeah. Which will probably be coming back here probably before the McGregor fight, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Right? Because let's see, tomorrow's the 8th, 2 weeks from that, 22nd. Yeah, we'll do one probably right before the McGregor fight. Yeah.
Bueno.
Yep.
Okay, that'll give you some time to line your chakras.
Yeah, and I realize I probably should have done that already. But years past, though, I mean, it's always been like some big bands that we've been waiting on some shit from them for a long time. Usually on the recording process. I might give that some thought. But, yeah, I think that we're going to have a very real opportunity to see Deftones and Mastodon in the same year.
It'd be even better if it was on the same bill.
If it was on the same bill, that'd be great.
Because that's really the only issue I have overall is like that Poppy is an opener. Deftones got a little weird with their openers.
Yeah. Same as Tool. They don't want the opener gathering any kind of real fucking attention off of what the people are there to see.
Yeah, but you know what? Metallica could open for Tool. And just be like, holy shit, I get to see Metallica first, and then I get to see Tool. I'm still there to see Tool.
Yeah, I think a good bill would be Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats, Chevelle, Mastodon, Deftones.
Yeah. The only issue I have with that is if Mastodon does put out a record this year.
They would have to be the headliner.
Yeah.
Sure.
Either that or they'd have to swap.
Yeah. Well, it's been done.
It's been done before, but,
Yeah.
you know.
All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and get into the picks because I'm sure we got to be running a little bit behind here.
Oh,
right?
yeah, probably with LJ's contribution, we're rocking at about an hour.
Gotcha. Okay. So what you drinking today?
About 3 or 4 more Budweiser.
Got some Fireball in the freezer from me.
Fireball.
Fireball.
And a little bit, maybe a little bit of that blackened. Pop.
Yeah. What you listening to this week?
Blackened by Metallica. No.
Been going deep on some Ramones here this past week. Probably might go that direction.
Been listening to a lot of night moves at work.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Yeah. And
it is a band that girls are like, wow, I like this. I'm like,
yeah, they
hey,
do. You goddamn right they do.
all right.
You're damn right. Let's see. And then no fights. So
Well, except for the one yesterday. Who do you think comes out winning, red or blue? Blue corner or red corner, bruh?
I'm going for the middle of the octagon.
Going for a majority draw.
Going for octagon control. Yeah. That's it for us. We'll be back on the 22nd. We'll set up things for the UFC pay-per-view for Conor McGregor against Dustin Poirier and get that shit rocking and rolling for you. In the meantime, hope 2021 is fucking sweet on you as much as I'm sweet on the Budweiser.
Oh, that's the case. This is going to be a good year.
Yeah, shit. Let's go back to the 90s, huh? Live?
I like it.
Yeah. Hey, anyway, we'll catch up with you folks couple weeks, Randy.
Quick call me, Rhonda.
Come around,